Quit eating, folks, 30 seconds to showtime. Grab your seat, leave your drinks to the bar. Hold your breath, put your hands together. We present Stanford Bay's finest star. Who has danced with the Mayor of Guinea? Who has dined with the Queen of Vermont? We trace the voyages of Sinbad. Corresponded with the men who can't love us to be. C'est pas la même chose que la vache qui rit. La vache est fort, mon ami.
Movie? I got nothing.
Hello, everybody. We started a little late, so I figured I'd just skip over the opening commercials, stuff like that. My name is Jeff with the G, and we're doing a little have fun here called the G Spots. Clever name, right? With me today is my good friend, all the way from the sunny state of California, my birth state, by the way. Rex the Impossible.
Hey, everybody.
How's it going, Rex?
I'm doing well. How are you, bud?
I'm doing okay. Living here in Texas, we went through all the snow and stuff like that, so it got a bit crazy. So water was turned on today, and so when I got home from work, I had a nice big power shower and a good shower cry and a shower whiskey, and now I'm ready for the show.
A shower whiskey? Did I see that correctly?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of people that talk about shower beers, and I'm not a big beer fan. I mean, I like beer okay, but it's not my jam. It's like why for me, because the part of drinking is to drink, and beer does jack for me as far as drinking wise. So I went, if I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna drink.
I hear you, man. You do what you got to do, bud.
Yeah.
But I'm happy. I'm happy that because last night you said you didn't have any water. So, and from what I understand, a lot of people had to just kind of buy bottled water and just use that, and that just nice.
Yeah, there wasn't like I got lucky yesterday and met up with a friend who happened to find water like 40 minutes from where I live.
Right.
So it's one of those.
That's insane.
And it was like, because I got the dog who's sleeping here right next to me. He, I had to make sure he had water. I mean, I can make do. I mean, I've got other things to drink, so I'm okay.
That's good. That's good.
It's hydration. It is. There's water in it.
Exactly. That's how you got to look at it, man.
Now, Keita St. Cyr's in the chat. Hello, Keita. Good to hear from you. Good to, see you or typing like that. So yes, yeah. If you drink, Hey, yeah. So if you drink whiskey in the shower, you don't need to put ice in it. That's true.
I don't think so.
Although it's a hot shower, so not that I had really had ice to do anyways. I did. That was the last of my pure water was in my ice trays that was in my freezer. So it refroze, so I was able to have ice.
Perfect.
Oh yeah. But yeah. For people who aren't aware of who this fine gentleman is, he's a funny guy. He does a lot of funny clowning stuff as well, which hence the nose. He's not drunk. He just likes to wear a clown nose.
I wear it all the time. Or am I drunk all the time?
I know you like your wine, so.
I don't actually. I just like the brand.
Oh, you just like the brand now. Well, it's actually a decent brand. So it's actually a decent wine. So I actually have some of it too. And Hot Todd Lincoln's in the chat. So hello, Hot Todd Lincoln. So how it works for this sort of show is just a conversation with myself and with whoever's on the show, so we can talk back and forth like that. But we've known each other for a few years now. We have a lot of mutual friends in common. We actually got to hang out, and I think we shared a meal over at the Hootenanny.
I honestly don't remember what I had nor what you had. So
I know exactly what I had only because I love Italian food, and we were at that little marketplace where had a bunch of little pop-up restaurants. They had an Italian restaurant. One of the pop-up things was an Italian thing, so they had tagliatelle, which was actually pretty good. I was pleased with it. So that's the only reason I remember that, because and then when I went back this past year, that place wasn't there. The Italian place wasn't there. So No, I mean they changed up restaurant. I think they just change up restaurants all the time.
Oh,
So I
okay.
think
I
yeah,
think
it's
I had grits because the whole weekend my stomach was a little messed up, so I had some like grits and cheese, and that may have
probably
kind of solidified everything and made
yeah.
everything magically better,
Well, it's either makes it better. It's either makes it better or force that shit out of you, pun
right?
intended. So that way you're good to go anyway. So one way or the other, it's gonna get fixed.
Exactly.
No, I had a great time hanging out with you, and we chatted a lot about stuff. And so
That's great.
and like, and then with the our unpleasantness that is the pandemic, which is going to be a year next month, or at least when the U.S. started taking it seriously. Um, a lot of this stuff, like for us doing all these different chats and the Hoot doing stuff online, is like
Right.
get us a chance to see people we probably wouldn't have had the pandemic not happened. We may have chatted once or twice, maybe,
Yeah.
and if we happen to be
I
within the towns, we go, oh yeah, I remember X. Yeah, but now we like it's like weird. I'm closer to know a lot more people from across the world, really,
I'm
that I
not gonna
probably
lie.
wouldn't have otherwise.
I cannot wait till everything kind of goes back to pseudo normal. I miss seeing everybody as a somewhat traveling performer. Like I make friends here and there, and yeah, I have a good amount of friends here at home, but I feel like I see more of you guys, who are sprinkled everywhere than I do people here, and it's just
Yeah,
it's tough. It's very for somebody who needs to be around like friends. It was not easy, man. Like it was just like I miss Hoot, I miss Theater Bazaar, I miss just going everywhere, Burlesque Hall of Fame, just everywhere. And it was tough. And being able to make people smile and laugh, wasn't easy. I need working on these online shows.
yeah.
It's not easy because I feed off of the audience, and when I can't do that online, it's
Oh, yeah, I totally get that. Which is yeah, I
Mhm.
just changed up how I did stuff. So
Yeah,
because like when first off, Kita because Rex did Beehoff. Um,
I did.
yeah.
I go there. I go there every year. However, a mutual friend of ours, Cecil the Sad Clown, had performed on Thursday night, 2019, 2018. That was the year I got clown married.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to my good friend and your good
yeah,
friend,
Emma
Emma
Dilemma.
Dilemma.
Mhm.
Uh,
She chose
no,
Cecil first, but then he didn't want to get married outside in the sun. So he asked me to fill in, and I said yeah. She approved, and we've been happily clown married ever since.
yeah, that's a
Oh,
good time. I mean, Emma's an amazing person to be a part of. Yeah.
oh,
Uh,
totally.
so yeah, Kita goes noise and oh, I like that noise. Like the Key and Peele sketch. Congrats on the clown marriage and the Thursday night performance. Beehoff is a hell of a time. Yeah,
It is.
Well, Kita's somebody who would be very familiar with the Beehoff. And for everybody's not aware, the Beehoff is the Burlesque Hall of Fame that normally is held in Las Vegas at the Orleans,
Orleans.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been the
I
Orleans for a while.
when I have to describe it to muggles or normies, people who are generally not performers, uh, I just tell them that it's a convention, yeah, uh, but it's a giant family gathering for performers, whether you're burlesque or variety, to come from all around the world, and just sit down and watch a 4 hour burlesque show from Thursday till about Sunday night, and it's intense. Prepared to see a whole lot of skin for 4 days.
Oh
So,
no, that is horrible. I can't believe that whatsoever.
yeah,
Whatever
and
shall I do?
it's funny that a lot of the performers I've spoken to said that they have to do like a like a half naked detox afterwards and just kind of like mellow out
Yeah.
and
Well,
like
it's like
watch
yeah.
clothes people for a while.
Well, it's what Keita goes. It's exhausting. The titty coma is real.
Yes, very much so.
So, yeah, and like but the whole idea you talking about the fact is that the Beehoff is like a gathering of family, and then
Yeah,
watching your peers and like all this sort of stuff perform, and it's very similar to the Hootenanny, which is more sideshow based versus
yeah.
burlesque, and on both sides they integrate.
No, totally.
The other stuff too, but it's like that. Like that's how I always looked at the Hoot. It's like the Hoot is like, all right, it's a gathering of people who are like-minded and family, and oh yeah, we get to perform for our friends, and that's really
My
what I looked at it as. I get to perform for my friends. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, but my favorite aspect going back into the family
Yeah,
atmosphere is
yeah.
the dinner to commit to start the festival. It's like a family dinner. And I don't know now I've only done it once. So please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they do it all the time to start.
For the Hoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I go. I don't. This was my first year to perform. Was this past Hootenanny. So
Okay.
I knew of the stuff just because
Right.
I was with man. I'm really good friends with other people who perform there. But like a
Yeah.
lot of times they can't like because of their work schedules they couldn't show up till Friday, so we were never part of that. Though I knew it existed.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
it's great because they started off with like a kind of I don't really know what to call it, like just a barbecue and like
well,
a family reunion.
different sort of things. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they ended it with a brunch on Sunday, which was
Oh yeah, that's with the Hoot. Yeah.
yeah, and then
Last
everybody kind of mixed and matched with these two meals, and it was like, hey, how are you doing? How's it going? Or catching up or networking, and it was fun. Like I miss all these events, but getting together as a family to start it and to end it was absolutely my favorite aspect of it. And also uh, eating steamed cabbage late at night and sharing a really tiny room with a fellow performer, Cake. That was fun.
cake. Oh yeah, because the cabbage because of Siberia, which is now
Yeah, no,
gone. Which is
from Melba's.
you get the cabbage from
Oh
Melba's.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's been sitting in steam and water. So
It's good, and it's gonna, like, and then later it's gonna sit in some steam and water.
yeah,
So,
nice fermentation of the.
no, man, like, so people are watching. If you've never been, yeah, the Hootenanny is in New Orleans, which is that's what sold me initially. Is when my life changed, and so uh, I mean, I like so when my wife died, and then exactly 1 year later, I put on a benefit on her behalf, and then a couple of days, and then like 2 weeks later, the Hootenanny was happening, and so I went, okay, cool, I'll go do this, and plus, like that year, Scavs was performing, as was Nick TV Game,
Mhm.
both good friends and Trash Fire members. So I went, all right, cool. Like I wasn't even thinking about at that time I did this show as a producer of like a one off. I go, all right, cool. I just do this thing for my wife, and then I was just going just to be a person.
Yeah,
And when I showed up, yeah, the whole idea that the community was just so accepting and loving and stuff like that. And I just fell in lockstep almost immediately. It was like really weird. And so that's what like between the production of the show and then going into the Hootenanny, basically going, all right, cool, this is what I'm gonna do now. And uh, as I started
and
going,
now
all
you
right,
set
cool.
off mouse traps with your tongue.
Master tongue, I do my eyebrow, ears. Yeah, eyebrow hurts the worst. That's not a pleasant one. at all.
Yeah, I don't like pain at all. So it all
I,
hurts to me.
I don't like pain either,
Yeah.
but uh,
And this is
I
coming from the guy who's got both his ears pierced. When I got them pierced, I nearly broke the arms off the chair, and I felt really bad because the guy who pierced me was this really big Samoan dude who was like, and I kid you not, like not tatted, but like tatted and pierced all over. And he goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Please don't break my chair." And I went, "I'm sorry. I just don't like pain, but I
no,
look cool now."
no, it's fair. Yeah, I actually believe it or not, I'm not like there's some stuff like yeah, like yeah, like yeah, we're gonna do cool stuff. We're gonna do suspension stuff. Like, yeah, I'm not into suspension. No, that's not my jam. I don't actually have it. Not, I like okay, piercings. I know like most like ears and stuff like that's not that big
Yeah,
as big of a deal. But it's like it's just not my jam anyway. It's like I don't care about piercings. But
I
I do have tattoos, and so of which I've gotten three in the past year. Oh, no, actually, I can't say the last year. In the past 2 years, before everything shut down, my last tattoo I got was in New Orleans at the Hootenanny. So from Gigi Deluxe. So
oh
he's a
cool.
tattoo artist. So yeah, you're in New
There's
Orleans. I recommend Gigi Deluxe over at the Catahoula Tattoo Company. So
it's very there. So at the event Theater Bazaar, on one of the
yeah,
stages, the auditorium, they have while the performers are doing their thing, intervals of suspension artists
yeah.
on both sides just hanging. And it took me, mind you, I'm not performing, but while I was getting my buddy set, I couldn't help but just kind of staring like, I how can anybody perform? I would just sit and like watch and go, so that's through your knee? Okay.
My
Through your
I'm
shoulder?
yeah, my ex who is my friend now. We're still friends now. Like that's like the who I met at the Hoot 2 years ago.
I
Um,
know I was
sh
there.
yeah, I know that's her. She's a suspension artist, and she was at the Theater de Var hanging next to the stage where you were performing at. So she was the bird girl that was
Yep.
hanging while doing stuff. In fact, I got my little camera here. So I've got a little picture right there of one of her art pieces. Everybody goes, "Why do you have?" I think it's a cool piece of art, regardless. Like she does artistic suspensions, or at least she did. But
Now
you know,
is that a painting or like a photograph that's on
it's a photograph that I went through a painting filter to
because it's a
produce. So it's
beautiful photo, but looks painful as all hell. And I know
oh
it's probably not to her, but to me, like I can
oh no,
feel it.
it's my thing. Is I go like she goes, yeah, like everybody like talk to her. Are you getting like because it's like that whole thing that goes, I don't like pain, and like all right, cool. I go, I'm not going to get suspension. And they go, yeah, but you said you wouldn't do mouse traps. Well, look what you're doing now. I go, while fair, I'm still not
Touche.
going to do it. Although I am working on one of my favorite performers of all time, who I never got the chance to see live, and it's unfortunate because I never will. And he actually got inducted posthumously that year you were there as Harry Anderson,
Yeah,
one of my
yeah.
favorite performers of all time. Um, I'm working on the voodoo needle trick, which involves putting a needle through your arm.
He
I'm
did
working
that?
on it. Yeah,
Really?
he did back in the '80s.
See, the
Uh,
funny thing is, I didn't know he was a performer. I just knew him as an actor.
well, that's because a lot of people just know him as either a Harry the Hat or Harry T. Stone from one of my still favorite shows, which is Night Court. Uh,
I knew, but it was Harry T. Stone from Night Court, and then as I got older and became a performer and had been invited several times to the Magic Castle, it was, that's when I found out he was a magician. And it wasn't until possibly that year at Hoot when I found out that he was also a sideshow performer as well. And
well,
yeah,
okay, so I've had
or
discussion.
or kind of somewhat a sideshow performer. I don't know. That this is new information to me of him doing it through his arm, doing the
Oh
needle.
no, it's really great. There's a whole big special he did back, I think, like 84, 85, where
Right.
it's just him doing like kind of just like comedy, and then you do like magic, and like he's a magician, like in a
Funny as
con
all
man's,
hell
and
too.
more, yeah, he's a magician in the con man sort of way.
Right.
He's not like the magic. No,
Yeah.
he's the hey, how's it going? I was like, here, I've got your watch, I got this, da, 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 that sort of like all that sort of stuff, and just doing stuff. And no, he actually does a thing that involves a very large needle, which I've got one, and I'm working on it. We'll see. It's one of those things I started working on before pandemic
He was
kicked
also
in.
on Cheers as well.
Yeah, as Harry the Hat was what he's referred
Yep.
to in Cheers. And that was probably closer, like that character is closer to what he always did on stage, which is kind of that conman huckster sort of
If I
thing.
remember correctly, the episode he walks in and then they yell at him and he turns around and he walks straight out because I guess he uh sniped somebody's wallet or something or watch, and
Yeah.
he was no longer welcome into the bar. And I laughed. It was funny.
Oh no, it's yeah. Harry Anderson's, like I said, one of my favorite. Like that's why. But it's one of my favorite performers, and so I
Yeah.
really like it a lot. And here's the thing about, and I had this conversation with some other people who've been on the shows like that. So my definition of sideshow is anything left of center. Centers being what's popular.
Mhm.
So um, things like burlesque, which burlesque does have has so many ties into sideshows. Not even funny with the girly shows and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But things like like a lot of magicians fall into play. A lot of stuff like that. The more stagey you are for a magician, the less you are sideshow. But you're like close up magic, quick chain artist, stuff like that. It's a lot closser. Clowns. I mean, clowns have
But
been forever down to anywhere. So
going into the history of burlesque, that's the one thing that I'm not a huge fan of, that Burlesque Hall of Fame doesn't really acknowledge. I love the event and I have fun every year that I go, but they don't acknowledge the vaudeville variety sideshow circus aspect of the origins of burlesque.
I
And
know they.
we just give us 1 hour on stage to do, you know, everything that we can do just to kind of pay homage to it all. But
And this is not a diss to anybody who runs it. Please, I mean, if you want to
yeah,
do
yeah,
that,
no,
that's
no,
fine. I
not
don't
at
know on
all.
my end.
That's
On my
just
end. So I've noticed. This is a thing I've noticed because I think we have a lot of the same mutual friends in the burlesque world because
yeah.
I know a lot of I know it's uh like I got into burlesque. My late wife really loved burlesque, so
Mhm.
we deep dove into it because she loves the costumes and the pageantry. Uh, so I've noticed when talking to people in the burlesquers that usually their uh, their history stops at like Betty Page.
Yeah.
Like basically, it's like like the Betty Page and like Tempest Storm on is what they always concentrate on. So it's like it's that post Minsky's world of or right like the night they raided Minsky's is basically where it hits on. Um, Even a lot of people like Gypsy Rose Lee, who she like Gypsy Rose Lee, will probably still considered one of the greatest burlesque performers of all time. Uh, she worked a tent in a sideshow. Like when she got like she was already famous and decided, you know what, I'm gonna do a tent show for like 8 weeks. Totally did it. 1,000 seats, did 7 shows a day, sold out every fucking show, 6 days a week, 8 weeks.
One of my favorite bits of information is that even back in the day when vaudeville, was a thing, and the it was the go-to, and performers would travel via train,
Yeah,
and they would go from here to there to there to there and here and back. And the thing is, they a lot of these performers didn't want to travel alone, so you had burlesque performers and clowns and variety performers and comics getting married. And
yeah.
so that's and then years later, their children become performers if they want to continue in the family business. But it's like it all kind of ties in. And again, no hate or disrespect to the event, but it's just like, I mean, just a little, like an hour. That's all we want.
It's well, we both. Actually, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I go the Beehoff. I don't know the people. I know who runs BurleyCon because I'm friends
Yeah.
with that person. Who was actually the and so maybe BurleyCon, maybe a way to broach that in initially.
That would be fun. Last year, no, not last year. The year before was the theme was clown, and
Oh,
I had a friend ask me a couple of questions on colorophobia, and because a lot of the performers were going to dress up as clowns, and to how to react or interact with people who have the phobia. And I was like, the one thing, if you're a clown or if you're in clown drag, is don't go popping up behind people and scaring them, or lurking, or you just be you. You don't need to be like, hey, how's it going? Ooh, and especially because you're in an area. I haven't been to BurleyCon, and I don't know if it takes place like at the Orleans, where it's just a vast, big casino where other people are. But yeah, it's fun to see, and hear that everybody was partaking in clown culture. So that made
no,
me
that's
happy.
really awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Kita went really big in the chat.
I wish I
As
could
far as
see
like,
what she's saying.
I'm gonna read it off, and I mean, if you
Okay.
want, no, Kita, it's amazing. I mean, if with Rex's permission, I may just go, fuck it, just bring you on, if you want.
That'd be awesome. If
On both ends of you. So I'm gonna read what it says first.
Okay.
She goes, all right, Betty and Tempest are definitely the ground floor for people who are starting
Mhm.
to get interested in burlesque. But the majority of burlesque performers who are interested in burlesque history are interested in the 60s burlesque and later, because that's when television revolutionized vaudeville. The comedians were able to transition that to the medium, but the strippers weren't. And when the sexual revolution happened and the burlesque strippers kind of got stigmatized and yada yada yada, so blue work basically it went and stuff like that. So yeah,
That's a lot of wonderful information. Bring her
no,
on
that
so she can
is.
verbally say that.
I'm definitely. Give me just a moment. I'm gonna copy the link. I'm gonna send it to her.
Okay,
And
good.
I mean, if anybody has an opinion that
Yeah,
about the burlesque history, I mean, I'll bring you guys on
please.
too.
That
We'll
would
have
be
a
rad.
that's why I don't do like a like question. I mean, I don't get I like question stuff like that. I just like having a conversation, and so sometimes
Yeah.
it takes a turn that we weren't expecting. So I'm on board
No, I
with
mean,
that.
all these events that I don't get the variety aspect from Beehoff. I now can have, and then I can get both of those at Theater Bazaar. So it's nice to have just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then bring it
A
together
little
for
bit
a
of
nice
this, a
cue.
little bit of that, a little bit of this. No,
Is that Mambo number 5?
no, no.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not. Who is that? That
A
is. That's
little bit
level
of
number
this, a
5.
little bit of that, a little bit of this.
A
No,
little
there
bit
is.
of Monica in my
Well,
life.
that's also that one. I wasn't thinking of that. I was thinking, I think of shit. I think it was Eric B and Rakim song from ages ago. I don't know. So yes, Keita Saint Cyr, everybody who's jumping on, who's been on the show before, and is an amazing person.
Hi, friends.
Also a side performer, and a burlesque performer. So
Yeah.
Your hair looks magnificent.
Thanks, dude. We were all in a happy hour chat last night where I was dyeing my hair.
Yeah.
You're like you were there and then you disappeared, and then you came back and you had like color in your hair or something.
Doing this.
I had my phony pony on, and I had like my victory rolls, and I took it all out and like washed the gel out, and I'm like, this black isn't happening. Let's do it up. It just
I
showed
dig
up,
it.
and started putting black hair dye in.
Well, like,
I want to
now
do
they got
maybe like a
shower-
teal, because I got a mohawk going on, and I want to do like a
Yeah,
teal mohawk.
I'm
There you go.
currently growing out a mohawk, which is what's
Oh, no.
happening here. It's like it's almost there.
I dig
There you
it.
go.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're chatting about the idea of burlesque history, and
Yeah.
well, like, I mean, it's, but yeah, I have to agree with a lot of what you said in the chat, which I'm gonna go, like, literally, I go, yeah, people look back to Betty, like, when people think of, like, they think of Betty and Tempest being the olden times of burlesque, and they don't look beyond that.
So the funny thing is, when people think of burlesque, especially if they're not like super well versed in burlesque, if they're just getting interested, if they're just starting their research in pinup and burlesque history, Betty Page is often the ground floor. That's where they're gonna start their interest, and then they're either gonna research earlier or later. It either starts with Betty Page and Tempest Storm, or it starts with Dita Von Teese.
Which is funny because didn't Betty Page start off as a pinup model and not necessarily?
Absolutely. Betty Page's
Yeah.
claim to fame for the most part was fetish and pinup modeling in the
Yeah.
50s, and burlesque was kind of like an offshoot of that. Which, like, my burlesque career started in much the same way. I started off as a pinup model when I was a teenager, doing a bunch of photo shoots for like hot rod magazines.
Yeah.
Basically, I was just like
But
a hot rod bunny. I ended up in a lot of photo shoots, and I kind of fell into burlesque that way.
No, but it's great because I mean you know a great deal, it sounds like, of the history behind what you do.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of burlesque performers do know a lot
Yeah.
about the fact that burlesque started as satire of higher art forms, and vaudeville and burlesque were hand in hand until television
Yeah.
became a
But
thing,
it also
and until the sexual revolution became a thing.
right on. No, but it also goes. I mean, going back to like the history of knowing of what you're doing is I manage Cecil, and so he does. He did a comedy festival over here in Burbank, in California, and walking behind him, I can hear a lot of conversation of the other comics because these are stand-up comics, and for this sad vaudevillian style clown to walk through, past them, you get a lot of weird looks. And I heard one comic, a younger comic, say to another comic, like, why is there a clown here? And then the other comic goes, I think it's the thing called vaudeville. And I went, yeah, homework, please. I wanted to give him pamphlets. I'm going to print out pamphlets, vaudeville pamphlets. But no, I
The
just
headline needs to be "Vaudeville is dead," and everything needs to get smaller further down you go.
I actually, like, because when being stuck in the house for several days, and
Yeah.
no power, no TV, make Jeff something. I don't have a lot of books.
Back to the
Books I
olden
have.
days.
But I have some books, and like one of the books I just picked up was I get a thing called it's what No Applause, Just Throw Money, which is about the history of vaudeville, from Trav SD, who I recently had the show where he did the Roses Midgets book. So it's a really fascinating thing to read.
Trav and I have worked together a couple of times. I really like him.
No, Trav was a lot of fun to chat with. And as far as stuff like that, and like with the Roses Midgets book, and that's the name of the book, and performer little people called themselves midgets, at least at that time, and they were marqueed that. So I'm not being offensive.
No. Totally.
But I also know the publisher for the book, and which is why I went, all right, cool, I'm gonna support my friend, and I go, oh, this is the writer. I'm reading the writer. The person who wrote the foreword, James Taylor, our friend James Taylor, doesn't like technology, so unless I want to do the interview via smoke signals or 186 mod modem, I'm not going to talk to him.
Yep.
That struggle was real. So But no,
As
Jason,
real as the Beehoff titty coma.
yeah. There you go. So it's that whole thing. Like
I
it was
mean,
fun to chat
wonderful
with him about
weekend,
it.
but it's a coma afterwards.
It
Oh,
really, like, by the time you get to Sunday, you're like, I'm here,
Yeah.
but am I?
It's like everything. It's what is it called? God damn it, Gonzo and
Are we back on Muppet Talk?
no, no, Hunter S. Thompson. No,
Oh, okay.
Gonzo journalism.
yeah, Gonzo. No, but the movie. It's like the movie.
Oh,
Like
Fear and Loathing Las
just
Vegas.
sitting there on Sunday, going, man, that was what a. Can I curse?
Oh yeah, you can fucking cuss if you want. Yeah.
What
I
a
already said
fucking
titty 3
weekend.
times.
Yeah, what a fucking weekend! You're just sitting there in the lounge chair, just soaking up the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's drinking water between water, coconut water, and then hair of the dog, whatever the bar has, and just kind of soaking it all in and going, that was it. Did I see a screaming horse on stage?
Oh, you were there the screaming horse year.
Yeah. That was the year I got married.
That act.
that was
it's
the year
so
my
good.
clown married.
So good. Also, anyone who's watching this who isn't super familiar with burlesque and they're just thinking the Betty Pages and the Dita Von Teese, and now they're just hearing screaming horse.
What?
Yeah.
It's the most
fucking bizarre,
brilliant act. Because I was talking one night after the after party, like, oh yeah, I kind of want to do a show for Cecil, like a sad, silly, sad sideshow circus, whatever. And one of the performers from that duet comes up to me and goes, "So is the horse act in the?" Oh, absolutely. Fucking.
I mean, if there's a clown wedding sad mind sideshow, there has to be the screaming horse burlesque act, of course.
Can we take a moment and describe this act, because
Please do so. I'm intrigued.
Okay, so it starts off with like, and Kita, like, jump in, please. Because it starts off with what's the name of the song from that Wild Bill dances to? Crying Horses. Yeah.
Goodbye, horses.
And it starts as that, and it's a two-person costume, horse costume, and they're just dancing. And it's
like the traditional horse, the way you'd expect it to be, like a dancing dressage horse thing.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Until it's not.
And then they separate. And then you've got the ass of the horse, and then you've got the head of the horse.
And the head is like horrified. Oh, it's so good.
At some point, the head of the horse goes on the floor for what seemed like 2 minutes.
It's the perfect, like, it starts out fucking adorable and then it turns into a complete fever dream. It's like an actual horse costume nightmare, and you're like, I took too much mescaline, I need to wake up.
I gotta say though, that year was the year of wonderfully weird acts.
It's really funny. I feel like every other year there's weird acts. Like there was one year, I feel like it was either 2011 or 2012, where a bunch of New Yorkers were competing in Beehoff, and they all brought their Beehoff acts. They were big, beautiful festival acts. They were very sparkly, and there were names that as a New Yorker who's a fan of burlesque or who's in the burlesque scene. And you see these acts and you're like, yeah, I could see you bringing that to Beehoff. That's the act that you bring to private gigs that makes you $500 in a night. That's like super easy. And then the year after that first year I was the stage kid in one of the nights at Beehoff. And the next year I just showed up to Peacock. I was just there to look cute and see the acts. And every single New Yorker brought their New York act. Like they brought the act that they bring on stage to the slipper room. They brought their weird shit. It was great because they weren't competing for anything. They were just like, here's who I am as a performer. And they were like, all right, so I'm in a latex Zentai suit.
Yeah.
Like everyone brought their weird shit. I feel like it alternates years like that. Like this is our performance year.
Mind you,
This
they've
is
got to
our us
travel
being
with
weird year.
all these costumes and props. Like how one year I remember it was a troupe and they were competing for like the big troupe and they I don't remember what the start of the song was, but then the curtain opens up and the front half of a big fucking boat just comes out on stage and they're on it and the song is I think goes from Boats and Hoes to I'm on a Boat and it was the best thing ever. Now mind you, then there's the smaller acts where is equally amazing. There was a performer who had, I think it was a bust of Lionel Richie, and she's got
And they did Hello.
Yeah, and she picks up the phone, and it's quiet, and then from there you hear hello, is it me? And she's dancing with the oh my god, I love funny weird acts. To me, those are magnificent.
Like Don't Blink burlesque troupe out of Arizona, I think. Matt
Right.
Finish is a part of that troupe. So they came to the BCBC 2 years ago, I guess, or maybe 3 years ago. Like it was the year after Cecil was there. So they did a group routine. I can't remember the name of the song, but they were like the wacky noodle guys.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Wacky wavy arm flailing tubing.
Yeah, and so they did a whole routine with that, and it was brilliant. Because they were just like big, huge, wacky noodle guys doing like weird dancing and burlesquing, and like
there was one year at Beehoff where there was a troupe, and I believe they're from Canada, and it's like the Loyal Order of the Rubber Chickens or something like that, and they yeah. Do you remember that?
I can't remember exactly their name, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
Towards the end, like it's like, oh cool, it's a great group number, and then they're all in fucking yellow chicken costumes running around, and the song is very chaotic and fun, and I'm going, what?
Like what the fuck is going on?
I don't know. I wish I was drunk and like overstimulated because I was like, this is amazing.
So this is one of the things that I really appreciate about burlesque in general, and it's not always the case at Burlesque Hall of Fame, although it often is like burlesque has this mainstream appeal for being very like high glamour and sparkly and aesthetic in a very specific way. But in general, the history of burlesque and burlesque at its core is really hilarious because it's subversive. They draw you in with the promise of sexuality and then hit you with the face with like, look how stupid this is. This is hilarious, you know? And a lot of that comes from the understanding of burlesque history. Burlesque performers do understand that our history comes from a lot of different places. And one of those places is circus and vaudeville history. That's not the only thread of burlesque history. A lot of like the shake dance history is kind of buried or overlooked. And shake dancers is like when people are trying to look up Black burlesque performers and they can't find it, it's because they weren't called burlesque performers, they were called shake dancers. Burlesque performers on the circus circuit were called hoochie cooch dancers, and cooch dancers are definitely part of burlesque history, and we can't bury that, and we pay tribute to that in a lot of different ways, even when we're not super aware of it. But
I was gonna say, for people who are watching who are not who don't know about it, I want to say, I don't know if it's a great example, but if you want to see what he is talking about visually. Uh, I don't know if it's on HBO Max, but Carnival, they had Hoochie
Oh
Cooch.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he has the girly show and stuff like his
Yeah.
girly show and stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
fucking sideshow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anytime you're seeing like girly shows or any kind of like women that are
Yeah.
strip teasing that are traveling with the circus, and even like when you're watching movies like Water for Elephants, you're gonna see allusions to the cooch dancers or the
Yeah.
cooch
Right.
tent. That's a burlesque tent. And that's definitely part of burlesque history. And it's something that we do acknowledge, but as neo burlesque performers that are what's that, Jeff?
No, it's one of those weird sort of things. Yeah, it's like people who like the neo like some of the neo burlesque people kind of understand, but they literally like nine times like I could probably outside of the bigger wigs of the burlesque world that are like modern burlesquers. A lot of the up and comers, I mean, if they like a lot of them, they don't think beyond Dito Vonteese or
I
people who are
think a
currently the big
lot of the
people.
newer performers or people who are just starting to get involved with burlesque might not know it as much, because those of us who've been involved with burlesque for a long time try not to elevate forms of burlesque pre the sexual revolution, because the neo burlesque movement is a feminist movement, and we're trying to highlight the women that got left behind after the men in vaudeville were able to transition to mainstream media and the women weren't. And that's the core of the neo burlesque movement, at least in terms of celebrating the burlesque legends. We're trying to elevate the women who got left behind.
And that's
No, that's
it's a
fair. I mean,
perfect.
I'm not. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
Yeah,
anyone's
Yeah.
trying to discount any of that. I'm just saying like the reasons that we aren't focusing on
But it's
art forms that were a little bit more gender diverse
right.
is by design.
But then
That's on purpose.
it comes back to, that's why one of the greatest things that I love about Burlesque Hall of Fame is, yeah, you've got like the, beautiful costumes with the showgirls and the sparkles and the, classic acts.
Yeah.
And then you have the fucking bizarre, where for me, I have friends who I've taken to burlesque shows, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I like the really classic. They're very sexy and all that." And I go, "Okay." And they're like, "So what do you like?" And I'm like, "I find it fun. I love funny acts. If you can make me laugh, that in just in even in dating, if you can make me laugh, I'll fall in love." You
Yeah.
know. And but yeah, no, it's bringing the bizarre where
I agree with
is
that
amazing.
too. Like one of my great friends, Tifa Tiddlywinks. Well,
Mhm.
she can do the glamour stuff, but the shit that kills is
Yeah.
the funny acts, the weird acts, the stuff like that, which is why I like hanging out with her. Or even people who can like throw the glamour on a lot. Like the very first episode of the G Spot I did, I brought on Coco Electric, uh,
I love
who is
Coco.
She's
Coco's
so
amazing.
good.
She's one of
My
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 favorite
pseudo
people.
nephew.
Yeah, she's
Her
one of my,
kid's
but she's like
badass.
she as I tell stories, so she does she I mean there are a few people who can do classic better her as far as for modern burlesque.
Yeah.
And then but she can turn around and do really dumb goofy shit too. She has an amazing like trash panda act that's
Mhm.
hysterical as well. And as I tell stories, the idea. So Coco Electric was my late wife's favorite burlesque performer. True story. And like the first burlesque show we ever saw was like Coco came to Houston to do a tribute to Betty Page act, because at the time Houston didn't have any burlesque, and so Austin, she came down from Austin to Houston, and she's originally from the Houston area, so it makes sense. But that's how I got introduced to a lot of people like Ruby Jewel, the Jigglewatts, and like Missy
Yeah, I was about to
Lisa,
say
Ginger
Coco was like one
Valentine.
of the co-producers of the Gigawatts, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
she was for a long time,
Yeah.
and then like literally like all these people get introduced, and so over the years, we kind of became friends before I got involved with stuff. And so, after Heather died, when I decided I want to do a performance thing, I was trying to figure out what to do. And I basically went, hey, I want to do a tribute show. Who wants to do it? I became friends with Coco via Facebook, but Facebook friends.
Yeah.
And she goes, "I'll totally do it. What do you want it done?" And I go, What?" And so she literally came down, on her own dime. She goes, "Hey," because I talked about Heather's history, and like Heather's grandmother was a Ziegfeld girl and stuff like that. So she goes, "All right, cool. I brought the Ziegfeld act," and like literally as the show is progressing, she goes, "Yeah, no, my act is not going to work for how this show is going. It's not going to be the right vibe. I'm going to see what I have in my car, and I'm going to throw something together." And literally, she put a burlesque act on the fly.
I love it.
But she just went to her car, found shit to put on, and did a burlesque act on the fly. And so it's an amazing person. I love her to death. Everybody's watching. She's also part of the Austin Academy of Burlesque. You want to learn classes, you can go online, austinacademyofburlesque.com.
Do it.
Learn some shit from like Coco Electric, Alexander the Great, who's an amazing like aerialist and wonderful person. Jinxie Divier does some stuff. A lot of stuff from the Austin Academy of Burlesque. You want to learn? That's a place to learn.
They're fucking amazing. Do it.
Yes, even if it's just you trying to figure your shit out. Like people ask me, they go, "How do I get involved?" They go, "Here are the people you can talk to." But also, know what you want. But also, it's just like when I talk to people about, regardless of what field of entertainment you want to do, what can you do well, and then how do you translate that to make money? I mean, what makes you unique? Like I had somebody go, "Hey, I want to do burlesque." All right, cool. Because I used to do like Irish step dancing. I go, "Dude, that's amazing. You should figure out how to make that burlesque because nobody's doing that."
I have a friend who does that.
Without using your hand.
Just like Riverdance, Michael Flatley of burlesque.
Yeah.
How do you do that without using your hands? Oh my God, that would be amazing. That would.
Right? So that's literally when I went. That's really cool. Like this person competed competed doing these dances. I go, yes. Start taking classes so you can figure out the other stuff, and then you figure out how to incorporate the burlesque elements into that style of dancing because nobody else is doing it. So that's the shit. Then you can book that and make a ton of money because nobody else does that stuff. Hot Tub Lincoln goes, "I did a burlesque act because it was even vaguely burlesque. He was Ducky from Pretty in Pink." Aren't you always Ducky and Pretty in Pink? Really?
I was about to say that's a very on brand.
Yeah, aren't you already? But yeah, it's the idea. But I also say, what's the thing you do well, and then how do you incorporate it into the thing? Like me, when I decided to go, all right, cool, I want to do sideshow. I started by being a host because I'll talk to anybody and I'll hype the shit out of things. Like actually, I'm gonna grab a drink in a second. And then when I started getting,
did you run out of Devil's River? What happened?
I don't know that. I finished that last night.
What are you drinking tonight?
He drank it out of a glass gravy boat. He finished it off out of a glass gravy boat.
Yeah, I got soused.
And then he did an Irish goodbye. He said that his laptop died, but it was an Irish goodbye. He was just gone.
Oh, no,
wait, I have to refill.
No, it actually powered. No, that's legit. It happened. Because I moved computers around. And just power is new and crazy for me because I was out for so long.
Before he had to write notes on the light from a candlestick during the power outage.
Dear Texas, will you give me water? Circle yes or no.
My dearest
just kidding. Sorry. Too soon.
Okay. I mean, I have water again, so I took a shower, so it was nice.
Good.
Yeah, your hair looks really clean.
Mm-hmm.
It does, yeah.
You got that nice shiny coat.
I'll probably take it again. I don't know. Okay, so it's now been about an hour. We started late, so we're almost at hour times. Rex, do you have anything you would like to plug for people?
My new assortment of clown butt plugs has come on. Whenever you fart, it goes ha ha.
Sign me up.
Can you imagine?
I can, and I will.
Would I make a lot of money off of that? I mean, if I can,
a niche market, like a niche market that would definitely that's definitely a niche market. But that's going to really get big on the gag gifts market. So it could do. Dude, fucking people bought rocks and pretended they were pets. So yeah, like a honking butt plug. You never know.
Just shape it like a rubber chicken.
Oh, no, you get a little line. You got a little
people
rubber
will
nose,
know when
got a
you
little
fart
clown
because
nose.
it goes ha ha.
Oh my god.
You shouldn't have me on again.
Oh no, it's amazing. Dude, you're welcome on whenever.
I'm completely sober.
To be fair, I just had the one, so I'm completely sober as well. So yeah, actually, we'll hype your friend that you work
Yeah,
with. You manage.
I manage a sad clown. His name is Cecil the Sad Clown. He's got a YouTube page. He's got a TikTok. All at Cecil the Sad Clown. I have a TikTok. I'm not very entertaining. I told the story of my clown marriage and I posted it, and that got more views than anything that I've posted. So if you want to go learn more about a clown wedding, at rex.the.impossible, because I had already made an account, forgot that I made the account, couldn't log on to that account, so I had to make a whole new account and have put fucking periods in my account, so it's more confusing. So, but if you all want to follow me and follow a stupid clown who makes fart jokes out of butt plugs, that was the first time I did that, and I'll continue to do it.
Oh no, that's good. We were talking off before the show started about merch. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I think you may have found your merch, man.
Oh, if you want.
Wait,
I wasn't prepared. I didn't have any. I don't have any.
Do you have a branded butt plug kazoo situation?
That would.
That's another part. You can whole line there. You get the
like
nose, you got the
butt
rubber
kazoo.
Chicken, you got kazoo, the butt zoo.
Would be the greatest.
The butt zoo.
Oh.
Or kabut, if you will.
Kabut. The kabut.
Butt zoo. I don't know. You
Now,
gotta play with it.
Now premiering at Hustler of Hollywood.
Impossible, but zoo.
If anybody has if anybody collects pins, and I don't have anything to show, but I can assure you it's you don't have one though, do you?
No, I don't. That's why we're talking.
No.
Collect pins because
I don't have anything near me, and I'm like an idiot. If you want to Cecil the Sad Clown pin, help my buddy out. They go for $10 plus shipping depending on where you're at, and they're the saddest pins that you'll ever own. And you'll look at it and go, oh. But I'll if you follow me on Instagram or follow him on Instagram, I'll post it for both of us, and then y'all can buy some sad ass pins. So
and then I will tag that to look whenever that comes up so that people can follow my socials as well. For a special surprise guest, Keita St. Cyr, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
You can find me on the noirhalloffame.com. We're doing a show for Black and Brown Excellence on March 12th and 13th. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be a bunch of brown and black ass performers being our excellent fucking selves.
It's gonna be bomb. Do kids still say that?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. It's gonna be bomb and
dope. It's gonna be bomb. Yeah, no, it's a whole weekend of burlesque performers of color, and it's a really beautiful show curated by Pearl Noir, the former
Pearl.
New Orleans herself.
Pearl Noir is amazing. So
yeah, yes, got a very high standard. So it's gonna be a ridiculously amazing weekend of shows. So.
Yeah, another one of those like the best in the biz right now.
Absolutely.
When it comes to burlesque. All right, cool. Then of course, Instagram, Kia Saint Cyr, all that sort of stuff.
Oh
Follow
yeah,
her.
Kitty. You can
Yeah,
find me on
yeah.
Instagram and TikTok at Kita St. Cyr, and also Southern Sideshow Hootenanny. We're always doing stuff. Look up Dr.
I'll get into
Sketches
that in a second.
NYC.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
we
Dr.
think.
Sketches, yeah.
There is
Yeah.
a
All right,
bunch
cool.
of amazing things going on. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I'm just a
All right.
busy bee.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
my plugs out of the way. I think tomorrow, Annie Mae Allure does a show called Annie Mae Allure Live, and so I'm giving her some stuff. I will probably be on that show tomorrow. She just did an all call, like, oh hey, I'll throw you some stuff. And if not, she does like the first and third Sunday of every month. She'll do a show, so I'm going to be on one of those shows at least, if not tomorrow, the next one. Here, myself and Scabs the Clown do a show on Mondays called Gaffing the Truth, where we talk about cryptids, conspiracies, and the weird shit. And I think we missed this last show because nobody had power here in Texas. So I think I don't know if we're going to.
I like the Night
that
Watchers
one.
from California.
Oh, okay. We'll talk.
Those are cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna. I don't know. We got either we're gonna redo the show that we were supposed to do last week, or we're gonna do what our normal show would be. So tune in 7:30 Central Standard Time to find out. Then Wednesday, I do the Devil's Hour, which is my weekly variety show. Cecil's been on the show. I haven't had Rex on yet, but hopefully at some point.
I'm not funny.
No, you're fun. I think you're funny this way. It's like having a conversation. I know I've tried to have a conversation with Cecil once, and it's very just so yes, you're. This is the show where you shine with your butt zoos and whatnot.
That's the name. What zoo?
The Butt Zoo Variety Hour featuring.
I'll send you stuff.
You made me laugh so hard my nose fell off.
So the butt zoo, yeah. So the butt
The
zoo,
butt
variety
zoo.
hour, which will be coming soon. Stay tuned. But yeah, Devil's Hour. What's cool is like I've been spending all this month for the Devil's Hour highlighting Black History Month. So I've been highlighting Black performers. I will continually do.
Okay,
that.
Christ, it's averted. I got another one.
Yeah. And then next Saturday, another edition of Give a Hoot, which is the Southern Sideshow Hootenanny show, which will be airing at the time this show normally airs, except it'll just be that. We've got some amazing acts, including the Lunatic Fringe Sideshow. We've got a classic hoot moment from the Old City Sideshow, which has Reggie Boogman-Shea, who's been on the Devil's Hour on her own, and then Danny Borneo. Who else we got? Roxy Cage, all the way from Canada. Anastasia. Hot Todd Lincoln, who's in the chat.
Hot Todd Lincoln. Yeah, Cameron
then,
Catastrophe's in that one.
Cameron Catastrophe as well. And then one of the living legends that still exists with us is Harley Newman, the professional lunatic. I can't wait. And then plus a moment with James Taylor with some great talks, and then James Freeman, who I always enjoy, like with his whole sideshow history. People who watch Devil's Hour knows how much I love sideshow history. Anyway, thank you guys for jumping in. I had a great time chatting with you guys.
Thanks for bringing me on.
Well, of course. It's once we start deep diving into burlesque, you're going.
Yeah.
I can feel you.
You're like, Kita's talking a lot. Let's bring.
No, it's always wonderful to hear the history, and
I love history, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There's so much good burlesque history, and I am always happy to actually talk about it. Like I barely touched on any of it, but it's out there, and I highly encourage people to look it up because
next up is my show with Kita. We're coming right back where we'll be talking more about burlesque.
Anyway,
let's do it, Rex.
There's a camera right here.
So everybody be cool, be safe, be groovy. Do do so.
Be warm. Is it still cold
Be
out there?
warm. Well, it was like 50 degrees today.
Peter's like,
It's
yeah,
fucking
I'm not there.
it's like Texas. Like
Like 2 degrees
Texas
here.
weather is Texas weather is just so fucked up. So like literally, all right, cool. We were like in the we're down to like 6 like 2 days ago, and we're gonna be at like 70 degrees in a day, a day or
Crazy.
two from now. So it's that's it's just
Yeah, in California it rains and we're all out in like flip flops and shorts and a hoodie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's it. That's my birth state. I'm from Paso Robles originally. So, anyways, everybody be safe, be cool, be groovy, and
Be safe, everyone. Hydrate.
yeah,
Hydrate.
hydrate. Yes.
Hydrate.
And as always, keep drinking. I'm gonna keep chatting with these guys.